Oh, so you're super toxic.
Like, yeah, no, what?
I scream fuckboy. Like, my entire fucking outfit and everything is like hello, I'm a fuckboy, hello.
I'm into black guys. I like the dread type of look. It's LA. It's like, at some point you just get used to everyone faking their lifestyle. G-Eazy, he's like totally like city burnt. Like, everyone's seen him. A lot of girls have fucked him. Like, people are a lot more accessible than you think they are once you live in LA.
They're in the same spot because you're a hot girl. If you were an ugly girl, you would not have access to any of the celebrity spots.
You guys, do we like Pisces men? Yes or no?
We're the best.
Those 23-year-olds, I think they're the smart ones because I feel like they've lived enough life where they know, okay, I need to settle down soon. I need to be taken care of. They're like 23. They've never worked a real job, probably. They make all their income from being hot and living in LA. They've never actually had to like pay for their Rolling Loud ticket. The young hot guys, they don't really make any money. It's on TikTok and stuff. And a lot of them are LA homeless. As a guy, wouldn't you want your girl to be like bitchy in a sense? Like
100%.
Throw her back on, like, you know what I mean? Like, why would I want to talk to another guy that's not the man I'm trying to pursue? All your pictures with like your ass out, you know, those like professionally taken pictures and like their asses are out and they're like at like a really nice Hollywood Hills house. Everything's all staged.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that as real modeling.
The purpose of modeling is to sell clothes.
If you have an OnlyFans, you are a sex worker, either you like it or not. I mean, there is levels to it, but you do work in the sex world. You are a sex worker. You are one step down from doing porn. You're more selling your body than you are selling a bikini.
You agree to do
Dude, they're like females. Dude, they're just a bunch of girlfriends.
Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us. I'm your host, Zach Evans, and first of all, thank you to all of our listeners. We've been getting a ton of growth over the last couple of weeks, and we got to thank all of you guys out there for that. Today, we got a special guest on the show. This is Shaliz. Shaliz, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience, name, what you do, and your star sign.
Cool. My name is Shaliz. I live in LA. I'm 20 years old, and I'm an Aries.
Aries. I know
Aries.
all about you guys.
I'm a super Aries. Like, if you looked up the definition, it'd be me.
Oh, so you're super toxic.
Like, yeah. No, what? A little bit.
I've had two intimate experiences with Aries, and they're very fun, but they never end well. Bad for my mental health, I think, is the way I would put it.
We're special people.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
That's my rising, yeah.
What's your moon?
Pisces, the best one.
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
Proven by science, numerous studies. Yeah.
I'm Aries, Aquarius, so I'm like super.
What is Aquarius characteristics?
They want to be different than everyone else. I don't know. They're very to themselves. They're different than any other sign. Yeah.
Interesting. By the way, I don't judge. I used to be very toxic back in my villain era.
I still am a little bit. I won't lie.
Okay.
Just a little.
Yeah, I'm kind of recovering fuckboy. Yeah. But back in my fuckboy era, I was a professional, not like the Gen Z fuckboys you see nowadays.
So you were really good at what you did and stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't with my bird scooter and taking shirtless selfies at LA Fitness.
You're
like
in a black car,
amateur.
right?
I'm in a convertible. I'm going to Equinox like a real fuckboy, you know, not like these amateurs. Let me ask you this. So you said you've had a couple toxic relationships in your past. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you get into these relationships, in the back of your mind, do you know that he's toxic, but he's just so fun and exciting that you don't care?
It's like a drug. Like, you know it's bad for you, but like you almost can't get enough. Like you're just constantly like going back and forth, getting a high, getting sober, getting a high, getting sober. It's very much like a cycle. And like, we're not stupid as humans. We know that it's not good for us, but it's just addicting. Like,
I see.
You love the person. You don't want to, you know, you don't want to break up.
Because I always thought when I was a fuckboy, and I've kind of graduated and matured out of it, but I was always first of all, I was very honest, and I would tell girls I don't want a relationship. And for some reason, they didn't believe me. I didn't understand it. But also, like I scream fuckboy. Like, my entire fucking outfit and everything is like hello, I'm a fuckboy, hello. Like,
as a female, it's like a challenge. It's like, oh, he doesn't want to date, but like, I'm going to make him want to date me, you know?
I see,
it's like...
You want to change him.
Exactly, yeah. Almost like save the guy.
Yeah. No, a lot of girls are like that. It's interesting. Have you heard of this thing called HelloFresh? It's like a meal delivery service.
Yeah. I've seen it on TikTok.
Yeah, so I got super pissed one time because I ordered 20 meals from HelloFresh because I don't know how to cook because I'm like a dude, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And I thought it was like meal prep, right? So I'm like, I don't know how to cook. Let me just have them cook for me. And it comes in, and I open the thing up, and it's like just the ingredients.
And you still have to cook it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I paid for you to cook it. I have to do all the work and I'm paying for this?
So pretty much it's just for like stupid people to just like give them the ingredients and like how to do it. But you still have to do it.
You still have to do the work.
Okay.
But that's why like when girls are like, oh, I'm going to change this guy. I'm like, there's guys who are already done. They're medium rare steak, fucking sweet potatoes. Why would you date the ingredients and hope that they turn into like a good steak? You know what I mean?
It's more like rewarding. It feels better like knowing that like, you know, like, oh, I made the fuckboy like date me and want me, and you know, every girl in the club wants him, but like, no, he's mine. Like, it's just this type of, I don't know. It's a good feeling to have as a girl.
I could see that.
You know, like you feel like hot shit as a female. I can cuss.
Yeah.
Cool.
We might bleep it out, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
You can go. Interesting. So what's your typical type? Let's do looks first.
Physical?
Yeah, let's do physical first.
I'm into black guys. I like the dread type of look. I think what they wear means a lot. Like fashion means everything to me. So kind of how they put themselves together and how they present themselves also. Like if I see them talking to every female and stuff, I don't like that. Like I like a guy very, you know, like to himself, smokes weed, likes the same music as me, maybe even makes music in the music industry. I would say that's definitely.
Yeah, you definitely like toxic music industry.
Yeah, you know, guys, the artists, they're definitely my type.
Yeah. Interesting. What about height?
I'm not like super weird about it, but I do want them to be definitely taller than me. I would say like 6 foot is like kind of the cutoff.
I see.
But if I meet my soulmate and he's like 5'10", I'm not going to be like, ugh, I can't do it.
But not like shorter than you.
Definitely not shorter than me.
I feel you.
I wouldn't even like really look that way.
I get like, it sounds superficial, but I get it.
You know what I mean? Like, would you like a fat girl? Like,
no, of course not. The fuck?
There you go. Same way.
No, so the first fashion model I dated, she was 5'11", so even 3 inches shorter than me, but with heels, we're about the same height, you know.
Okay.
And before me, she dated all these like only basketball players, NBA players, stuff like that. And then she got fucked over so many times. She's like, Zach, the next guy I dated, I was like, I don't care about looks, money, status. Dated this 5'8" guy.
Was he good to her at least?
So here's what happened. So she's like towering over him like Shrek, you know what I mean? And she goes, yeah, the first 3 dates were like good. Then one day he comes over to my house and I had a couple glasses of wine beforehand. And she's like, Zach, he walked in, I gave him a hug. And she's like, I picked him up and I spun him around and watched his little legs flail to the side. And she's like, Zach, I lost all respect for him after that day.
I would too. Oh my God.
And I'm like, that's your fault, but I get it. Like, I get it.
Did she want to pick him up, or he was just so light she actually was just
No, like, she was just like drunk, so she kind of just did it. You know, like the wine hit. And
I would be so
like,
turned off. I would be so like, icked out completely.
I mean, I get it. Like, I would feel weird kissing up.
Looking up
like,
to kiss.
I don't know. I don't like it.
And it's something about like the dominance of a guy that's like bigger than you, and it's like you don't really realize that until you're with a guy that's like 6'4", and you're like, wait, I could get super used to this. Like this is. Like,
it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice. What about personality then? What do you look for?
Personality. I like them to be social. Like I don't like a guy that's like, oh, I don't want to go out with you. I would like for them to go out. Not only go out, I'd like for them to know more people than I do, because there's nothing more embarrassing than like showing up to like an event or somewhere and you're like, this is my boyfriend. This is my boyfriend. This is, you know what I mean? I would like for him to be like, hey everybody, this is my girl. And like, we're kind of more with his people and his friends. They would have to be outgoing. They would have to be hilarious. I think I have a really good sense of humor. So you'd have to be funny. What else? Smart. You don't have to go to school or anything, but you know, some type of income. I think that's really important. He has to be making more than me, definitely. Just like enough to be able to take care of himself financially, and then eventually me. Yeah.
Do you have a cutoff income wise?
No, but I have a pretty good eye for seeing who's making good money and who's not. And
who's full of shit.
Exactly. And we live in LA, so it's like 75% of the time they are full of shit. But there's a couple good ones left.
I got lifestyle catfish by this girl one time.
Lifestyle? What's that?
So this is like 2020 when like everybody's blowing up on TikTok. Like you post one video of you walking and you get 1 million followers, right? So she had like 1 million plus on TikTok. Every story was like private jet, yacht, blah, 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 like all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, lifestyle catfish.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
okay.
And she would always come to my place, which is pretty normal. Girls I date usually come over here. But I was like, you know, you always drive all the way from the valley. Like she was like deep in the valley. And I was like, I can come to your place sometimes. She's like, nah, that's okay.
It was probably like Van Nuys or something.
So the valley is, do you have a lot of experience with the valley?
Yeah, I know about it.
It's like, I tell people it's like, have you seen Lion King, the movie? So you know when Simba and Mufasa, they're up on Pride Rock, right?
Yeah.
And Mufasa's like, Simba. He's like, everything the light touches is your kingdom. And he's like, see those dark, shadowy areas? Never go there. It's dangerous. There's crackhead hyenas. Like, she was in the shadowy areas of the valley.
Like, literally, like, right in the middle. Like, not the top or the bottom.
It was
but
sketch. Like, there's just, like, fucking feral children screwing around the
Oh
sewers.
my God.
Like, it was sketchy. So I go up to her apartment, and I walk in, and I'm like, oh, yeah, give me the tour, you know? And her 3 roommates are sitting on the couch, you know? And
it's a clown house.
so I open this door, and I'm like, oh, this is a nice, like, walk-in closet.
It's her room.
Yo.
No way.
There was mattress on the ground, no fitted sheet, just like flat sheet over the top.
Oh my God.
I could go like this and like touch both of the walls with my hands. But the worst part, this is the craziest part of the whole story. We started watching Hulu on her laptop because she didn't have a TV. Mm-hmm. She had Hulu with advertisements.
I almost choked. Oh my God.
I was like, you were on a private jet yesterday. You have Hulu with ads?
Oh my,
it's crazy.
It's like the girls that like, they have so much money on Instagram, but they're like, oh, can you like order me a car? Or they're like, can you cover the bill? I'll pay you back.
Yeah.
I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. But I mean, I get it. It's hot girl privilege. It's just,
it's LA. It's like at some point you just get used to everyone faking their lifestyle. And like more than half the shit I see on Instagram now, I'm just like, it's not that fun. It's never as fun as it looks on social media. Like,
for sure.
I don't know.
Well, the other thing too is it's like it's still high school where it's just everybody's trying to show they're the cool kid that got invited to the cool party.
Exactly.
Look, I'm here. There's this TikTok influencer and fucking G-Eazy, like always at this party, and you're not here because you're not cool enough.
G-Eazy, he's like totally like city burnt. Like everyone's seen him. A lot of girls have fucked him. Like
G-Eazy, like fucking Soldier Boy. I'm like, Soldier Boy's not been relevant since like 2002. Like you guys are going to the party because Soldier Boy's there. It's
literally
crazy.
Drake's dad, like at Delilah every Sunday, living there.
Yeah, some girl had a story about him on the podcast a little bit ago.
Some of these celebrities, they're pretty, I don't want to say like burnt out, but they're pretty burnt out. You kind of know what spots you can see them at, where they are, the people they hang out with. People are a lot more accessible than you think they are once you live in LA. And that's not ever something I like realized before moving here. And I was like, these celebrities, they're just like everybody else. They're just at the same spots that we are, same clubs, same restaurants.
No, you're wrong. They're in the same spots because you're a hot girl. If you were an ugly girl, you would not have access to any of the celebrity spots. Go to Delilah.
I guess.
Maybe, okay, you get 3 of your hot friends to get you in with them. Okay.
That is a good point. I guess you're right. Yeah.
By the way, I don't blame you for using full use of hot girl privilege. Like I'm straight white male, so I'm already like here in the
You already
privilege.
have it, yeah.
And I'm a Pisces, so I'm like here.
You mean like right here?
No. Pisces boosts me up a little bit.
Guys, do we like Pisces men? Yes or no?
We're the best. Even ilovepisces.com has confirmed that. Many studies. Yeah.
I love Pisces.com. My ex is actually a Pisces, so I have...
We're the best.
I have a very strict stigma around you guys. I
Was
don't
that
know.
one of the toxic ones?
I've only been in like 2 serious relationships my whole life, and that was one of them.
Gotcha.
And it was like 3 years on and off. It was right when I moved to LA. It kind of taught me everything I know now. But he was a Pisces, and he was toxic, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, he would want to break up, but he wouldn't. I feel like every single time we did break up, he kind of left it with open doors so he can come back whenever he pleases. He was like, we're breaking up, but I love you. You're the one for me, but we're breaking up. So any
Hot and
single...
cold.
Yeah, super hot and cold. I don't know.
It's a good strategy. You know?
It works.
How did you meet that relationship?
I met him. It was one of the first times I was partying in LA, and I still lived down in Newport. And I had come up, and my friend knew him, and we had just started talking. We were in a Tesla, and me and my girlfriend, we were both super blasted. I don't support drinking and driving, but we were. We couldn't park the car, and it's a Tesla, so it's like a go-kart. It's not like a regular vehicle. We were parking. I couldn't park it correctly, and she saw him walking down the hill, and she was like, I know him. So we came, and he came and parked the car for us, and the rest is history.
It's a crazy way to meet somebody.
Yeah, right?
And was he one that you knew right away, oh yeah, he's probably kind of toxic, but whatever, he's hot?
No, at first it was like your super like cheesy type of romance. I was like, this is the one. I know he felt the same about me. I was like driving, before I had a nice car, I had like a little bucket. I would like drive it back and forth from like Newport to the Valley to see him like every weekend. And then eventually I came to LA.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And he was older, same age, younger?
He was same age.
Gotcha. What's the oldest and youngest you've dated in comparison to your age?
The youngest I've dated, I would say, is my age. Oldest I've dated, I'm 20 right now. The oldest I've dated, probably like 25.
That surprises me.
You think I like older men?
So I used to have a company in the modeling industry for a decade. I sold it a couple years ago.
Is it like real modeling or like atmosphere modeling?
So we ran events for the modeling agencies.
Okay.
We started off on, I have a comment about that. We started off with the fashion modeling agencies.
Okay.
And then about 5-6 years in, we pivoted a lot more toward the more influencer scene because there's just so much more money in it.
Yeah.
And one thing we would notice, we used to call it hot guy phase, where the new models coming in, 18, 19, 20, always be dating the young hot guy, fucking TikTok hair, dangly earring. Like, these guys were like clones of each other, right? But the
ripped baggy jeans, like the whole thing.
Like, literally, I was like, wait, is that her girlfriend or her? I can't remember, like, literally couldn't remember shit, right? But the most attractive girls in the agencies, when they were 21, 22, 23, they'd always be dating some, like, normal-looking dude. Like, maybe dad bod. Like, if you put on a brown shirt and, like, dropped off your UPS package, like, you wouldn't be surprised. You'd be like, oh, makes sense. But it would always be someone extremely successful, extremely established, charismatic, and typically 10, 15 years older.
Those 23-year-olds, I think they're the smart ones because I feel like they've lived enough life where they know, okay, I need to settle down soon. I need to be taken care of. They're like 23. They've never worked a real job probably. They make all their income from being hot and living in LA. They've never actually had to like pay for their Rolling Loud ticket. You know what I mean? Like they've had their whole life with things handed to them. Mm-hmm. And as a woman, as you get older and you're not settled down and you're not financially taken care of, I feel like you almost start to worry and you are going to do what you have to do to be financially taken care of. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think too, there's something that happens because I was talking to one of the girls and she said, yeah, like young hot guys after a while, they just kind of get boring. And she's like, oh, it's another hot guy, but like
they're all broke.
And like a lot of them are like not that intelligent. You know? Like if you find one that's hot and intelligent, it's like a unicorn. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things. And I think a lot of them just get bored and they're like, want to move on to something else.
It makes sense. Especially here, I feel like the young hot guys, they don't really make any money, especially the ones on TikTok and stuff. And a lot of them are LA homeless. I don't know. Have you heard of the term?
Yes. I've met plenty of people
who
have told me, you want to hear a funny story?
Let me hear it.
So we had a party at the house one time and I'm talking to this girl and I'm like, oh yeah, welcome. And she's like, oh, you live here? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, so you're roommates with Mike? I'm like, who the fuck is Mike? She's like, that guy. He just said that he lives here. I'm like, the fuck?
You've never seen him before?
He's just some random dude in my house. I'm like, you live here? The fuck are you talking about?
He's like opening the fridge to grab her drinks. Whatever you want, babe.
It's just, I hear so many stories about like guys like, oh, I live here. Like, oh, I'm like this artist manager. And then like you do one Google search and it's like, you're not Drake's manager. Like, the fuck are you talking about?
You're not even on the team, babe. Yeah.
You're not, but girls like believe it. I don't know how. It's like have you seen the Tinder swindler?
No, I haven't.
The Netflix thing where he tricks all these girls into
to have a place to sleep at night, right? Or no?
No. He had them sending them money, like taking out loans and like, please, babe, I need money.
Oh, wow.
And I remember before I watched it, everybody was like, I can't believe these girls are falling for this. And then I watched it and I was like, I've seen girls fall for this shit over and over. Yep. I don't know how, but like it's
and it sucks because they're always like gorgeous and like nice, pretty girls. They're just like dumb, unfortunately. Yeah.
I mean, it's just the reality of it's tough to be hardworking and intelligent and figure out life when you've been handed everything. Very true. Typically, if you're an attractive girl, you've been handed anything. So unless you had really good parents, you have some kind of drive within you. A lot of girls just like don't even know how to like I dated this one girl, like she had a parking ticket from like a year ago.
She doesn't know how to pay it off.
I was like, why aren't you paying this? Like, it's not like you can't like afford it. She's like, I just don't know. Like, what website do I go to? Like, where's the confirmation number? I'm like, it says confirmation number on the ticket.
I'm
like,
so guilty of that though. Like, if I get my parking ticket, I send it straight to my mom. I Zelle her the $73 and I'm like, please take care of this. Like, and she does it, thank God. Yeah. But I'm guilty of that one too. It's just like little things we don't know how to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Same with like toll roads. I call my dad. I'm like, hey dad, like I just went through the toll road. Can you take care of it? It's like $3. You know, like they usually do it.
I mean, it's interesting. So before I moved to LA.
Where are you from, by the way?
Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
Have you been?
I haven't.
There's nothing there.
It's not on my list. Yeah.
Cheese.
Cheesehead. I was about to say. Are you a Packers fan?
I mean, yeah, but I'm not too, why, what are you?
A Niners fan.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to talk about the Super Bowl. We don't have to. Let's just skip over it.
What was I talking about?
Sorry, I totally interrupted you.
You're all good. Oh, I did want to get back to the real model thing.
The atmosphere modeling. Interesting topic.
So I've dated girls who were like in the fashion modeling industry.
Mm-hmm.
I've also dated girls who were Instagram models / a couple like OnlyFans girls, right? So I've seen kind of both sides of it.
Who's bitchier?
It's different. So fashion models, typically what I found is at the start, if they're kind of like more standoffish and with the OnlyFans girls were like, fun, party, let's take shots, right? And you're like, oh my God, like this is so fun. We're all friends, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But the fashion models are way more standoffish. Actually, one time I started dating this girl and one of my friends was like, oh, who's this new girl you've been seeing? So I like show their Instagram and he's like, oh, I know this girl. Fuck that girl. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, she's like a huge bitch. I'm like, dude, this girl's like the biggest sweetheart I've ever met. Like, what are you talking about? And then I didn't realize it until one night we went out for her friend's birthday and we're at like Warwick or some shit.
Mm-hmm. Warwick Wednesdays.
Yeah. and this guy comes up and I see her like pretty like brutally reject him like, oh, thanks, back turn, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, she's a bitch to guys she doesn't like. But also, like, what do you want her to do? Like,
what do you
lead a
want
guy
that?
on for a half hour and like have this fucking loser have this conversation, then he thinks he has a shot, then you have to reject him, and then he follows you around like a puppy. Like, what do you want her to do?
But like, as a guy, wouldn't you want your girl to be like bitchy in a sense? Like
100%.
Throw her back on, like, you know what 100%. I mean? Like, why would I want to talk to another guy that's not the man I'm trying to pursue?
Yeah. No, I got a huge fight with this girl I was dating a while back because she would always like kind of flirt with everybody. And she's like, Zach, no, I would never cheat on you. I'm like, I believe you, but it's a bad look for me.
Yeah.
It makes it look like, because I know what guys are thinking in their head. Oh yeah, she's Zach's girl, but I could totally fuck her if I wanted to. And I don't want them to think that shit.
100%.
My ego is too big for that.
It's just embarrassing too.
It is embarrassing.
And in a city where everyone knows everyone, you want your girl to be untouchable. Like, you know, especially if you're popping out with her, you're going to events with her, not even necessarily posting her, but like, you know, like the public sees you guys together. You don't want like a girl that's flirting with everyone. It's just a bad look. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you don't want this like rude type of girl that's mean to everyone. Like if you're introducing her to your friends, you wouldn't want her to just like, hi, like, you know, you would.
Yeah, there's definitely a balance.
There's like, yeah.
And there's definitely like a mix of like, okay, well, we're all friends now. You know, this is my close friend. Mm-hmm. I know he's not gonna try to fuck me over. Okay, like you can be more like.
You'd be surprised.
That's true. Trust me, I've gone through enough friends where now I have my friends. And I'm 32, so I've been
no way.
The block, yeah.
I was thinking like 26.
The hat fools people. So now I have kind of like my loyal guys that I'm like, dude, we've gone through. There's so many times they could have like tried to hit on my girl and like didn't and like same vice versa. So we're kind of like good now.
I feel like as long as you know, like with my ex, there's even been times where like I fell asleep in a bed with his best friend. But like no one thought anything of it. It wasn't like a weird thing. Like I was really drunk. We were at his house. Mm-hmm. My boyfriend was like downstairs, like hanging out with other people. Like it wasn't like a weird taboo thing. Like, you know, it was a pretty big bed too, in my defense.
Yeah. It is what it is. You know, as long as you have trust and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Trust is huge.
But for the OnlyFans versus fashion model. So why do you consider the fashion models the real models and then the other girls the not real models?
Not necessarily that they're not real models. Well, I was thinking atmosphere models, which are more of like live models that kind of get paid to like go out.
Oh, I see. Go to the club.
Yeah, like go to the clubs, go to dinner, things like that. Mm-hmm. I think those aren't real models. I would say OnlyFans girls and Instagram models, they are models, but to a certain extent. When I think model, I'm thinking like a face that you don't see on everybody else. Like if I open up Instagram and you have like 2.3 million and you have the link tree in your bio and all your pictures with like your ass out, you know, those like professionally taken pictures and like their asses are out and they're like at like a really nice Hollywood Hills house. Everything's all staged. Mm-hmm. I don't see that as real modeling.
Interesting.
But like, you know, someone that does like a real runway show or like goes to New York Fashion Week, like that's someone I can categorize as a model.
So to me, the purpose of modeling is to sell clothes, right?
Yeah.
So to me, if there's a girl who's like an influencer, has like 2 million followers, and like maybe you don't think she's pretty. Maybe you're like, oh, her face is ugly or whatever. You're just not your type. But there's 2 million people who do think that she's pretty. And if she posts, hey, I'm selling this swimsuit, and it sells out instantly, versus like a fashion model who maybe is signed by like this big agency, but gets like 1 gig a month, which is like pretty typical for like most fashion models out here. and yeah, she's signed, but she can't sell any clothes. Like, what makes her the real model? Just because some dude in Ford models at the top of the skyscraper is like, yep, this one is the real one. That one's not the real one.
I think it's more of like the Instagram model. She's not actually selling the bikini. She's more selling her body. And once you're in that realm that you're selling your body and how you look and your face rather than like the article of clothing on you, you're categorized as a sex worker. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But at that point, if you have an OnlyFans, you are a sex worker, whether you like it or not. I mean, there is levels to it, but you do work in the sex world. You are a sex worker. You are one step down from doing porn. It is kind of, and again, no judgment. Like girls have to hustle. Like I'm all for it. But that's just, I feel like you're more selling your body than you are selling a bikini.
Yeah, so I can understand the argument if it's like an OnlyFans girl, because it's like, yeah, the purpose of modeling is to sell clothes. You're not selling clothes. You're getting guys to sign up for your OnlyFans. It's different. But I do think if you're a model on Instagram and you are selling clothes, regardless of how you sell them.
You're an influencer. You're not a model.
No, but why not? Like, you're still, like, would you say a musician's not a model if he's not signed, but he has 1 million followers, everybody loves his music?
He's an artist.
You wouldn't consider him a musician, like a real musician?
I would. He's a musician. He's an artist. Yeah, same thing. But he's still like creating he's creating music, creating something he loves, something he wants to like present himself in. But like, again, an Instagram model, she's just selling that bikini because she's going to get a cut of it because that brand is paying her to post it. And I don't know, I just don't see her as like a real life model.
Interesting.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of my Instagram model friends are going to come at me for this one.
Like, what the fuck? Well, because I always felt, because I've dated both sides.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I have like friends that are like the fashion models, and I have my friends with the OnlyFans models / Instagram models. And I mixed them one time, and they like fucking hated each other. It was like oil and water. I will never mix them.
Oh, they don't like each other?
Yeah, it's like a very like, it's like the Instagram models are like upset because they feel like the fashion models have this air of like, we're better than you. We're the real models. You guys are not the real models. We're up here. You're down here, right? And then the fashion models are kind of jealous because they're like, we're broke as fuck. You guys are all making hella money.
Yeah.
So that's why they kind of put this air, we're better than you because we're the real models, because they feel jealous.
Whole time they're like making way less. So they're like, okay, it's like the only thing to make them feel better. It's like, we're better than you.
Yeah, it's kind of like a coping mechanism in my opinion.
I can see that actually, 100%. And Instagram models do make way more than like a real life model. But at the same time, like an Instagram model, like they can Photoshop. They have things that like...
Yeah, so can a real model. What do you mean?
Yeah, but...
You don't think those pictures are edited?
But when you go on a runway, it's like, it's real life. It's like your body looks how your body looks. Like you can't eat that day. You have to like train. Like, you know, and I've seen real models go and they don't even know what city they're in sometimes. They're so sleep deprived. Like they haven't eaten. Like they are like mentally body exhausted. And on the other hand, you have your Instagram model and they're waking up at 3 p.m. They're door dashing their community goods. Like, you know.
Whoa. I've seen some fashion models wake up 3 p.m. They have a shoot at 3:30. They show up 2 hours late. I've seen the same thing on both sides.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, but it's interesting. It's interesting. Have you ever been felt the temptation to do like the OnlyFans or sugar daddy thing, anything like that?
I've always wanted a sugar daddy, and I've had guys on Instagram like DM me and be like, let me pay for your dinner, let me send you $1,000, and of course it's free money. I'm like straight to give them my cash app. I'm like, of course. But like as far as being in like an actual arrangement, I've yet to find kind of like the right guy that wants to pay me enough for like what it's worth. I do dabble in like atmosphere modeling. So like I'll get paid to go to the club, or I'll get paid to go to like a nice dinner. And it's actually really fun. Like I'm getting paid to do something I would do normally. So I mean, you make the best of it. You're sitting there drinking, eating great, having a blast. Yeah. I used to kind of be a promoter for like 6 months. Oh yeah? And I hated it. I loved it and I hated it, but it burnt me out really fast. I was like, I don't know how promoters do it in LA, because they will set out like on their story like their week schedule, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, it's crazy. How do they drink that much? I was doing 3 nights a week because I was like just starting out. This was like back in my 20s. I was like, dude, this is the life, blah, blah, blah. And like we had a model house and everything. And it was like, don't get me wrong, I got laid a lot. Like promoters, I think get laid more than professional athletes, more than like a lot of like musicians and stuff like that. Just because the sheer quantity of going out 7 nights a week. That's true. Also, the girls are blasted out of their mind, and the ratio is like 1 to 8. And I feel like one of the girls is like, all right, I'll take one for the team. I mean, that's how it's not even taking one from the team. It's just a standpoint of like just numbers game. You got 12 girls. They're all like
drinking, if any one of those girls is like, oh man, I'm like really horny tonight, like I want a guy, you're like the safe one. She's met you 3-4 times.
Yeah.
Your friends know you. You got like the jealousy going on sometimes. But honestly, promoting taught me so much about like human behavior, more so than anything. So for example, I can't tell you how many times I would like meet a girl, right? And I'd be like, just trying to talk to her, literally just because I'm like, you came out tonight, I need you to keep coming out because I need girls.
Yeah.
Like, at the beginning, you're kind of struggling for girls.
You're being like nice as hell. You're like, we can go to a dinner, we can do a comp dinner,
I'm
anything you
just
want.
trying to be her best friend. I'm like, I will be your gay best friend. We can go shopping together, whatever the fuck, you know? And she'd be very much blowing me off, not giving me the time of the day. Okay, fair game, right? And then half an hour later, some other girl's throwing herself at me.
And all of a sudden, yes.
Girl number one. And I'm like, you wanted nothing to do with me 20 minutes ago. Now you're all over me. And it's just interesting. And I don't even blame girls for that. I think it's natural human behavior. I think it's you want what you can't have. The scarcity aspect, I think that's kind of what it is.
It's always humans wanting what they can't have.
Yeah.
It's almost like a cheat book, actually, because like if you're a girl and you like a guy and he's into you but not obsessed with you, but you know he answers your texts you on a Friday night, like what are you doing tonight? As long as you don't give it up to him and you don't give him sex, he's gonna keep wanting you until he has it. And that's kind of my cheat code. That's kind of what I tell girls younger than me. I'm like, don't have sex yet. Like, don't do it yet.
You're wrong, but not for the reason you think you are.
Wait, tell me why I'm wrong.
Okay, so girls think, oh, if I make a guy wait for sex, then it's going to make him like me more because, like, I made him wait. And then, like, he's invested more, whatever.
Yeah.
You're right that you will find more guys who want to actually date you and want something serious, but it's not for that reason. It's because you're weeding out the guys who just want you for sex. Okay. Because if there's, like... Let's say there's like 3 guys, right? But you're making them all wait 3, 4, 5 dates. If a guy just wants you for sex and it's already the 3rd date and you're still saying no, at some point he's doing risk reward and he's like, fuck, I got to take her on another date and I still might not get laid. Okay, fuck this. I'm going to see some other girl.
That's fair.
But a guy who's like seeing the long term and he's like, okay, I actually want to date this girl. Then he's going to wait to the 4th, 5th date maybe because he's waiting for the long term. Yeah. He actually wants to date you.
The first guy, the one that we were talking about, the first guy,
yeah.
If they do wait and they do end up like, you know, on the 3rd day actually having sex with you, sometimes it's like a challenge with them and they know as soon as they do have sex with you, no matter how great the sex might be, they don't want anything to do with you anymore. They just want to prove to you and to themselves, yeah, I fucked you. No, I'm not going to talk to you again.
It's the conquest.
Exactly,
sure.
Yeah.
I got an argument with my friend about this. I was like, because... She was like, oh yeah, guys just, they want sex so much because they're just like super horny, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's not about the sex. It's about saying, it's like this internal need for validation to say, I'm good enough. She likes me. Okay, I had sex with her. Okay, now I don't need her. I know she likes me. On to the next one. I got to make sure she likes me. I can tell my friends, dude, I hooked up with this hot chick last night. Bro, you hooked up with this chick. Blah. It's literally the need for validation. Because if it wasn't, guys would just get hookers.
That's very true.
It's way more work to fucking go out, Uber ride. Maybe you're buying drinks. Maybe you're buying drinks for girls. You're doing all this shit, staying up till 4 a.m. and maybe still don't even get laid versus just like pay a girl to have sex.
Well, I always wonder that about guys. Like, why don't you, if you're like so horny, like you want to have, and I've had like guys in my bed and guys I've really liked and, you know, they liked me back and, you know, like they're just like not getting, I'm like, oh, not tonight, you know, really not trying to give it up. I'm just like, if you wanted sex so bad, like, why didn't you just call an escort? Like, there's tons of websites in LA. Like, it's not hard to find one. They're gorgeous too. Don't get me wrong. They're really pretty. Some of these escorts in LA, banging body. What, you pay them like what, like $800,000 for the night? Have the best night of your whole porn star experience, and then you never have to text her back because she doesn't really want that text back anyway. You know, and I always wonder that, like, why don't guys just do that? But I guess it's for the validation.
Yeah, because you can't tell your friends the next morning, dude, I hooked up with this chick. They're like, oh, well, you pay for it. It's like, it's not cool anymore. You know, it's like you lose the cool factor. Let me ask you something. I'm curious. You seem to have a dominant personality.
Okay.
When you date, do you like guys that are extremely masculine to make you feel in your feminine energy, or do you like the opposite, like I want to wear the pants and I like the little pretty boys?
No, it's the first option. Definitely. I love when a guy is more dominant than me, and I have been told I come off dominant, and it's actually something I'm working on, like especially when I'm around a guy I like. I try to be very feminine, very girly, just go with the flow, like, you know, like the Uber's coming, we're gonna like just kind of let them plan. But guys, they can't really match up with me. Like usually, like I feel like I almost scare them away, or I'm too much, or they just can't be. I don't know. I like I'm more dominant.
This new breed of dudes is built different, you know.
Dude, they're like females, dude. They're just a bunch of girlfriends.
They have like a bed that touches 2 walls. It's like, did you never like figure out what a nightstand is? Like,
literally.
why? Like, how are you not figuring this shit out? You know.
I had a guy on Valentine's Day very recently send me flowers, and then he asked me like, "Oh, like what are you gonna get me?" And it was like we weren't in a relationship. We barely just met a week before. He doesn't even live in LA, so he like sent them from another city. You know, the bare minimum to my house. He DoorDashed them too. Like, it wasn't even something like pre-planned. And then like an hour later, he was like, well, what are you going to get me for Valentine's Day? And I was just like, in my head, I was like, nothing. Like, what do you know, it was very weird. Yeah. I don't know.
Interesting. I only use flowers for one reason.
What is it?
I have this trick where I can tell using flowers as a proxy if the girl I'm seeing is also seeing other guys. So I can kind of know where I stand.
What do you mean?
So I'll go to like one of these flower like delivery sites or whatever. And I'll send her flowers, but instead of my name, I just put from like smiley face, right? And so the next day...
You're very toxic.
I just know what I'm doing.
Okay.
If the next day, if she calls me, oh my God, thanks for the flowers. Okay, she's only seeing me. If she doesn't, it means she doesn't know where the flowers are from. So she can't come and talk to me about it. So
You're
I'm like, okay.
sick.
This is me. I have... Look. I wish I could just be a good little simp and just run around with my simp friends, riding our bird scooters around town, and girls like me for no reason. But I'm in LA. Like, it's like there's no all's fair in love and war and fucking dating in LA. You know, like it is what it is.
I feel like if I got flowers with no names, I feel like the first thing I would do, not because I talked to 100 men or anything, I just wouldn't really know. I feel like I would just go post it on Instagram and be like, who sent me these flowers? Like, fess up.
Oh, that's even worse.
That's worse.
That'd be like, then it's like public that you don't know who sent you the flowers.
I have no idea. I mean,
no, there is a way to beat the game. I don't want to say this. What if girls?
No, let's hear it.
The way to beat the game as a girl is you would text me, hey, did you get me flowers? And then if I'm like, oh, why did you ask?
Well, that's so awkward because what if you didn't?
Because then she could be like, oh, it must be like some stalker, my secret admirer, or some guy on Instagram. I don't know how they got my address. Like, you could get out of it. There's ways to get out of it.
That's true.
Most girls don't think of it, so it doesn't really matter.
If you have a present dad, I would just say, oh, it must have been my dad. My dad.
That's true.
Yeah.
You could say that. Yeah. No, I've never got the last time I got a girl flowers in like the actual sense of flowers, she blocked me on all platforms and never talked to me again.
She was turned off by the flowers?
Well, not exactly. So, okay. Back in my villain era, I was seeing this girl. Okay. I told her very honestly, hey, I don't want anything exclusive. And she's like, okay, bet. We start hanging out 3-4 times a week. She's like sleeping over. It kind of feels like we're in a relationship.
Okay.
You know? And she's like, Zach, you never do anything nice for me. You never take me on dates. You never buy me flowers. And I'm like, this girl's been like sweet to me. Like, let me do something nice for her, right? So I go on this like sketchy flower delivery site. And
what do you mean sketchy flower? Like, what does that even mean?
I don't know. Like, the website looks like it's like from like fucking 1995 or something. It's like one of those.
It's like a MySpace type of format.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm about to hit checkout, and all of a sudden it's like ping, and this little pop up comes, and it's like, wait, before you check out, buy one get one half off. So I'm like, my mom always told me like be fiscally responsible, like don't waste a discount. So then I got 2 flowers, sent one to the girl, sent one to this other girl I was seeing, right? So in my mind, girls like flowers. I'm spreading more joy and throughout the universe.
Okay.
I consider myself somewhat of a philanthropist at this point. But then
what does that mean? Sorry.
Like someone who gives to charity,
Okay.
Very good person.
You're God.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So then the next day, I'm driving with the girl, and I just got this new BMW, and it has this stupid fucking feature where it Bluetooths, when you Bluetooth your music to the car, your entire phone Bluetooths to this little screen on the car.
Like CarPlay or something, right?
Yeah, CarPlay, Apple Play, CarPlay, something like that. So all of a sudden it's like, ping, new message from girl number 2.
Thank you for the flowers.
And no, it doesn't say the message. It says new message from and her name, right? And then girl number 1's like, who the fuck is this bitch? Blah, 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 blah.
Wait, were you dating girl number 1, or you guys were just like seeing each other?
Yeah, we were just seeing each other.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm like, obviously I'm like trying to gaslight her and like, using all my fuckboy tactics to the maximum because like, what else are you going to do? But girls like, you're like fucking Sherlock Holmes, like finding the clues. And, like, putting
CIA agents.
Yeah, literally. So that night I wake up at 4 a.m. and she's like, what the fuck? And she's like towering over me like Shrek on the bed. And she's like, you fucked this girl. You bought her flowers too? I'm like, what the fuck? And she had hacked into my phone and found my text messages.
Wait, how did she hack into it?
So one time, like, she wanted to play music. I didn't feel like figuring out how to Bluetooth her phone to the car. It's like super fucking annoying. So I was like, oh, here's my password. It was my fault. It was a horrible decision.
And she just like remembered it?
Yeah, she remembered it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have a very easy password, to be fair.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 for anyone that's curious.
Now I got to change it. Fuck.
Another way to hack in is like live photos.
What do you mean?
Like, I would grab my ex's phone in the middle of the night and I would take my phone and I would get a live photo of him and I would put them in front of each other like this.
No way.
And I could you could Face ID with a live photo as long as the photo is like moving a little bit.
That works?
Yeah, but don't tell anyone.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It works, yeah.
Like that. Have you ever done it?
I have. It was like 3 a.m. It was like the most toxic. It was like the end of the relationship. Like we knew it didn't work. We weren't even together. We were just sleeping. And I haven't seen this guy's phone for like a month prior. It was either in its like roommate's room, in the kitchen, like in the fridge. Like I would never see his phone.
Yeah.
And he would sleep like with it under him and I'm asleep and I feel a phone and I'm like, oh my God, is this his? And I go back to reach my phone and I can feel my phone. So I'm like, okay, this must be his. I slip his phone out from under him. I grab my car keys. I go to like the bathroom at first because I didn't want to actually leave the house yet. And I try to get in and I hear him waking up and I bolt and my car keys were actually his car keys. So I have his car keys. I bolt for like the front door. I have both of our phones in the hand. It's like 4 a.m. and I get in his car and I just drive to like the nearest park. This is like 2 years ago. I drive to the nearest park and I have both the phones, so he has no way to contact me and I'm just sitting there going through everything. And then I eventually came back to the house and he was like, you need to leave. And I was like, no. And still after finding everything on his phone, like I couldn't get it in me to actually leave. And I still spent the night and I was like, no, babe, like I love you. And it was really pathetic, but
did you find he was cheating on you?
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't cheating because we weren't together, but he was like talking to girls on Snapchat and stuff. Yeah. And they were all hideous. I was just like, what the fuck? Like,
girls always say that.
They were. No, I swear they were.
Every ex I've ever like, she's always like the new girl I'm dating. Oh, she's ugly. And I'm like, wait, that's what the last girl said about you. And then you said about this girl. And then she says about this girl.
Wait,
like,
you still talk to your ex? That's a red flag.
Some of them. It depends. Okay. I would get blocked a lot in my past. But I don't really get blocked that much anymore. I'm a lot more...
Are you a blocker yourself?
Hell no, dude.
Really?
Blocking, here's what people don't realize. The second you block somebody, you lost the breakup. Because it shows that you're, like, still so in love with them. You had to block them because you just can't handle, like, seeing them on Instagram. You're so in love with them.
Very true.
If you don't block them, it's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to fuck this girl. Oh, hey, like your picture. Like, sometimes I would still like their pictures on Instagram and, like... You know, and like their stories.
I do that with girls that think they have beef with me because I don't have any problems with anyone. I'll like purposely like their pictures so they know.
Toxic shit.
Yeah, so they know that the beef is just them. Like you're fighting with yourself.
Exactly.
That's good. The real cheat code is keeping them on Instagram, not blocking them, but muting their stories.
Ooh.
So they'll never see you in their viewers. You'll never see their posts. Like, but you still follow them. So they're over there thinking like, wait, why isn't he looking at my stories? Or why isn't she looking at my stories?
And you check, like, you're like, nope, still following me. That's weird.
They're like, oh, that's weird. They must be so busy. But I think I do that to a few people.
Yeah. Yeah, people say the best revenge is success.
Very true.
No, not true at all.
Oh.
The best success is getting someone that's hotter than them. That is way better revenge.
I mean, I feel like the best revenge is just, like, being better than you were when you were with them. Like, all of those flaws that you had when you were with them, like, if your ex was like, oh, you're too fat, you're too crazy, like, losing weight, not being crazy, like, you know, things like that. And they're just like, every reason they gave you to why they don't like you, just fix those reasons.
You're like, on your Instagram story, I no longer steal people's cars in the middle of the night and go through their phone. Crazy.
Just so you guys know.
He's like, fuck, she changed. She finally changed.
He would tell me, he was like, I can't take you serious until you're on medication, until you're like going to therapy and stuff. So I posted a picture of like a Zoom. It was a total fake Zoom. And I was like, first therapy. Like I was trying to do those things. It didn't work. We're not back together.
That's hilarious.
I know.
Have you seen those TikToks where it'll be like, how to like have a Valentine's Day date, and it'll be some dude and he like paints one of his nails like a girl color, and then he like takes these photos where he's like holding hands and it like looks like he's on a date with a girl. Or he'll put like a purse on the thing and like a glass of wine, like 2 glasses of wine.
That's how you make everyone want. There was like a guy and I didn't really like him and he was super interested in me and he posted on Valentine's Day, and whatever girl he was fucking, did like a whole like breakfast in bed for him, like had Balenciaga gifts for him.
She did it for him?
She did it for him, and he posted it. And the only reason I saw the post, because he removed me on Instagram, was because someone screenshotted the story and reposted on their story and was like, oh, this is the best one I've seen. So I saw that and I was like, wait, and the bed was familiar, the room was familiar, and I was like, there's no way. Made me want him so much more.
Yeah.
Like seeing another girl do that for him, I was like, wait, I could do that for you.
No, that shit is true. I remember in our high school, there was like this nerd kid. Nobody liked him in terms of like girls. Like he was like a good guy, whatever. And then for whatever reason, like the star cheerleader, like dated him for like a month, and then was like, "What the fuck am I doing?" Broke up with him. And after that,
every hot girl,
bitches, this nerd, like huge nerd, like calculus person, like fucking like counts numbers for fun, like this kind of guy, like got all the girls in our school. It was so crazy to me.
The cheerleader was thinking ahead. She was like, all right, this guy's gonna grow up to be rich. He's gonna get a degree in something great. And then she was like, I can't do this.
I mean, it is what it is.
Wow. You went to high school in Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Super boring, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Wisconsin is very people are very nice and like genuine and all that stuff. Yeah, so fucking boring.
I can't help to think, but just the 70s show when I think of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's pretty accurate.
It's like everyone in like a basement smoking weed. Yeah.
Like it's like, what do you want? Like literally, I went home. Well, I have two stories about this. The first time I went home, like after I moved to LA, which was a few years after like college and everything. It was
you came to LA for a couple years before you visited? Like you stayed?
No, well, I should say the first time I went home and saw my friends.
Okay,
usually I just see family. And they were still going to the same bowling alley we went to in high school. I'm like, y'all are still going to brown deer lanes? Like, y'all are like fucking 25 years. Like, you guys can go to a normal bar or like a club or something,
Still trying to get the same girl from senior year.
Crazy.
She's but like now, in New York City or something.
And now they're all like slowly getting uglier and like, you're still trying for this girl. You're not even cute anymore. Like, what the fuck?
That's hilarious. Even back in my hometown, like, and it's just an hour away from LA, they're still doing all the same things, same bars, same clubs,
same crowd,
same crowd. Yeah, I'm like, God, this is boring. Hasn't everyone fucked each other by now? Like, what?
Yeah, it's
very
crazy.
Boring.
And it's crazy too. Like when I see their lifestyle now, I'm like the last time I went home and saw my friends a couple years ago, and they're all married, have kids, most of them, you know what I mean, and. They're like, Zach, when are you going to have kids? You're missing out. Like, you're going to miss the boat. You're getting too old. I'm like, no, trust me, in LA, like, if you're rich and funny, like, it doesn't matter.
It never stops.
Yeah. And so later in the conversation, I asked him, I'm like, what is your best day? Like, what do you do all day? What is, like, your dream day? And he's like, yeah, my wife's mom takes the kids. Like, my wife goes out with her girlfriends, and I just have poker night with the guys, have a beer, watch the game. I'm like... I can do that every night.
That sounds
Your
like
pinnacle existence is my every day of my life. What the fuck? I'm missing out. Like
that sounds like it would be your most boring night of the week.
Literally, yeah. I mean, it's crazy to me. I don't know.
Wow, it's my favorite thing is like when people that aren't from LA come to LA for the first time, and I'm like not showing them around necessarily, but they're just like, oh, this is Melrose, this is Fairfax. Oh my God, Rodeo, and it's just so like. Mind-boggling to me. I'm just like, it's every day. Or I had a girlfriend visiting and she's never been around any like high-profile people, and we went to the club and we ended up in the section of like a pretty big rapper, and she was just like starstruck, like her phone, the flash, and I was like, girl, you're gonna get us kicked out. Like people don't act like this.
You're like, chill, bro.
I was like, dude, chill. Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing actually.
No, my guy friends once came from Wisconsin, and the first night I couldn't hang out with them. I was like busy or something. And they're like, oh, we're going to go to this place. It's called, I think it was Nightingale.
The worst
club.
And
I'm like 5 dudes who like wear jeans that like don't fit you right in like a flannel shirt. I'm like, I told them like, you guys aren't going to get in. They're like, no, we'll just like, we'll just wait in line. I'm like, you're not going to get in. And then they text me at like 1 a.m. They're like, fuck this place. I'm like, you're not going to get in. And then the next night I took them to the Abbey, but didn't tell them it was a gay bar. And then had
in WeHo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, if I'm drunk enough, the Abbey can be a lot of fun.
I love the Abbey.
Okay,
honestly.
yeah.
And I'm not gay like my boyfriend is, but like I'm straight. But like I would make a great fucking gay guy. I'm fashionable. I like to work out. I hate pregnancy. I like
You're
parades.
very put together.
I'm fun. You know what I mean? I just don't like dudes. That's it. Like I could be the crazy gay guy that like likes chicks instead. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I could be that guy.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to Abbey with some of my straight guy friends, and no hate or anything, but they were having more fun than I was. They were having more fun than the gay guys. And then I got tired. I had too many drinks. I was like, can you guys take me home? I live close to the Abbey. They take me home. I look at their location. They're back at the Abbey. And I was like, you guys are having that much fun?
It's a fun bar. The vibe is good. The drinks are strong. Like, the music's always good. Very true. Yeah.
And the people are cool because they're all gay. So they're all just, like, nice people. Like,
yeah,
for the most part, gay people are always really sweet. But there's always that one gay guy at the party, and he's good looking. He's put together. He has, like, you know, designer on. And, like, I'm a pretty girl. I know I'm pretty. Mm-hmm. And they just give me that attitude. Like, they very much humble me in a way. They're like, you're not that hot, babe. Like, ugh, I hate that.
Mm-hmm. You're like, no, tell me I'm hot. Like,
no, tell me I'm hot. Yeah, I like the mid-gay guys. And they're like, you're so pretty. You're so hot. You're so sexy. I'm like, tell me more.
I will say that Abby taught me what it's like to be a girl.
What do you mean?
So the first time I went, mm-hmm. my friend tricked me. She was like a fashion model or a fashion designer from New York. Mm-hmm. And she was like, it was like my second day in LA. She's like, Zach, I got to take you out. I'm going out with 8 of my models. It's going to be fun. I'm like 24 years old. I'm like, 8 models?
You're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I go to her apartment. I'm like, she give her a big hug. And I just hear inside the apartment, they're like, ooh, Poppy. And I was just like, what was that? She's like, what do you mean? Those are the models. And I like looked at it. It's like the 8 most flamboyantly dressed gay guys, like glitter and crop tops and everything. And I was like, oh shit, welcome to LA. But we went to the Abbey, and I remember at one point this gay guy is like, oh, let me buy you a drink. I'm like, oh no, I'm not gay. Like, I'm just here, my friends here, whatever.
No, guys, I swear I'm not gay.
I'm not gay. And he's like, oh, it's all right. And he buys me a drink anyway. And so we're like kind of like talking, and like 2 minutes go by, and he like goes for the makeout, right? And I'm like, no, I told you I wasn't gay. But then he like got mad at me for like, he's like, I bought you a drink and everything. I'm like, I told you I'm not into you. Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, yeah, probably girls this happens to all the time.
I feel like a lot of straight guys go to Abbey and they're like, oh no, like, I'm not gay, but then something ends up happening. And then that's why guys that actually are gay think they have a chance with straight guys. Because a lot of guys are in denial about their sexuality. And they're like, no, I'm not gay, I'm straight. But, you know, by the end of the night, a couple drinks, you know.
I don't think so. Like,
I know a couple guys in denial, for sure.
But are they actually just in the closet? Or are they straight, but they have gay? They got drunk and had sex with a guy?
No, I think my gaydar is amazing. I think they're actually just stuck in the closet.
Really?
Yeah. But I could be wrong. I don't know. But I'm pretty right.
I'm just like, okay, most of my female friends, if you ask them, hey, have you ever got drunk and like made up with your friend at the bar? Oh, like your girlfriend, right? Oh, yeah, me and Tori got drunk last night. I've never met a dude like, yeah, man, like I'm straight, but last night got drunk and like me and John made out. Like, I've never seen it.
I was just so drunk.
Yeah, I've never seen it before. Maybe it exists. I don't know. I've just never seen it.
I just think they know they're gay, but they just don't come out yet. Mm-hmm. So they're just like in the closet and they get really drunk and they do stuff and they wake up the next morning and they're like, that never happens. Like,
we had this friend from college that was like so obviously gay, like kind of had like the voice and like just the way he walked, everything, right? And one day he like sits down with us. He's like, guys, I got to tell you something.
You look at your other homies, you're like, yo, you owe me $20.
Well, literally, he's like, I'm gay. I'm like, yeah, no shit. He's like, you guys knew? Like, bro, it's written all over your face. Are you kidding me? It's like so obvious, you know?
That's a funny one, yeah.
Yeah. So how's, in terms of, I know you said relationships wise, you like more like kind of masculine type. Do you find, does chivalry, is that part of that equation?
That's a great question. It is, but to a certain extent, because once you overdo it, I no longer want you. Like, you know, as far as like opening my doors, that's a must. But like, there's certain stuff that it's like, okay, that's too sweet. Like, that's too nice. Like, if you're constantly telling me like, I think you're so pretty. I think you're so pretty. Like, I got it. You think I'm pretty. Like, you don't need her to like remind me 3 times of the hour, you know? And there's certain things that are just like, it's so sweet and so nice. It almost comes off as like feminine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's like a pretty fine line between like being masculine and dominant and still being polite and chivalrous, and then like being a bitch and just like letting your girl run shit. And like in my relationships, I never want to be the one that's like, okay, let's go here at this time. Like, I never want to have to be the one that's like running stuff or like, you know, I don't know. I feel like guys I've met some pretty like straight guys, but they're just so nice where I'm turned off and I'm just like, oh, I actually don't like this. And if I know you want me more than I want you, I no longer want you because now it's no longer fun for me. It's not a challenge. I'm like, oh, he wants me. Great. Like, so do like 20 other guys in my DMs, you know? Like, I always want to feel like I want my man more than he wants me. With that being said, I don't want like an asshole dude, like someone that acts like they don't want me, but I do want that feeling of like, I want my man more than he wants me. Like, you know, he shouldn't ever feel like he needs me. And like that plays into like, you've seen the thing on TikTok, like the line, you know, the guy, he does like the line test on like celebrities and like who leans into who and like who's more dumb.
Interesting. I've never seen that.
You've never seen this?
I feel just by you expressing it, I like my brain understands.
You understand
like,
what I'm
I've seen
trying to
that.
say.
Oh yeah, he's into her. You can tell by the picture.
Exactly, because of the way that they lean into each other. Like I never want to be standing straight with a man leaning into me. Like I would always love to like be the one leaning into my man, the one that like, I don't know, I should be depending on him more than he's depending on me. Because like once he's depending on me more, that's too much for me to handle. I'm only 20 years old. Like I don't need a son right now, you know? But that's how I feel. I never want to feel like I have a son. I'd much rather feel like I have a dad. Yeah. A daddy.
I appreciate your honesty because most girls, no, we love the nice guy. We love the simps. Like, no. I'm like, really? Because the last 5 guys that you hooked up with are all
assholes.
Like, what do you mean? Like, you love this? And like, I have eyeballs. I can like see the universe, you know?
We say it because we're like trying to manifest like a great man in our life. But like, I feel like at the end of the day, most girls, they don't want that. And you know, there's a couple like that break the
mold,
break the trend or whatever. But I feel like for the most part, like a really pretty girl does want a guy that's like more dominant than her.
Like you have to have boundaries. You have to stand up for yourself. You can't be a pushover. You have to have a spine.
Exactly.
Like those kind of things. Yeah.
Like if I can tell him like what to do, when to do it, how to do it, like you're not the man for me. Like
I see.
It should more be the other way around.
Makes sense.
Tell me what to do. Tell me where to go. Like, you know.
All right, Shaliz, we are about out of time. I got a couple rapid fire questions for you.
Let's do it.
Favorite food?
Ooh, pasta, sushi, anything nice.
Anything. Have you been to Jones?
Jones, I haven't.
Oh, it's the best pasta in LA. It's like 3 blocks from here. It's like on the corner.
Is it like upscale?
Yeah.
My favorite restaurant in LA is Catch Steak.
Oh yeah, Catch. You like it better than the normal Catch.
I hate the normal Catch. It's like
like pretty much the same menu. It's like
no, it is not. Not
like
at all.
Same
no,
shit.
Even like the ambiance is so like TikTok influencer, but like Catch Steak, it's like upscale, classy, menus on point.
So you probably like Craig's, like that kind of vibe.
I hate Craig's. It reminds me of a dive bar. The food's okay, but it's not my favorite.
Gotcha.
I love like Steak 48. Anything like upscale, something I can dress nice for. There's a new place in Beverly called Funk. Pretty hard to get a table, but if you do, let me know. I'll be there with my girls.
Sounds good. Favorite next travel destination you haven't been to, you want to go to?
Ooh, Bali, Indonesia.
Oh, you haven't been to Bali?
I haven't.
Oh, it's crazy.
I want to go.
Literally, like the flight sucks, but once you're there, it's like everything's like dirt cheap. Everything's like it's like relaxing. Like you get these villas. They have like cooked breakfast for you, clean for you, give you massages. It's great. Yeah.
Or Tokyo, because I'm scared of Bali belly.
What's Bali?
Bali belly. It's like when you go there and get sick. Like you can't have ice there. Yeah, you can't have like their water, like certain things.
Yeah. Favorite first date spot or activity?
Ooh. I would hate to go to the movies. I would hate to go to like a dinner on the first date. Yeah, movies suck. Dinner sucks.
It's like you spend 2 hours with them and then afterward you're just like, so did you like it? Like so fucking lame. It's so fucking cheeseball.
So weird, yeah. And then they're like trying to touch your thigh mid-movie. I would say surprisingly like somewhere with his friends and somewhere with a group of people where he can kind of show me his lifestyle and stuff. Even like something interactive like Topgolf. You know what I mean? Like something where it's like a group of people. It's not super awkward. I'm not like
one-on-one interview style.
Exactly. I hate that. Like let me meet your friends and their girlfriends and you know like let's make it a thing.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Where can people find you if they want to connect? Any shout outs to Instagram or anything you want to give?
They can't. You can find me on Instagram if you'd like. It's shaliz.nuries. That's about it.
Awesome. We'll tag you in the post.
Awesome.
Well, this has been fun. We'll have to do round 2 sometime.
Definitely. It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks for listening.